The Ebola outbreak is now the deadliest on record. More than 2,000 dead since May. In Colombia, Mexican rescuers searched the rubble after an earthquake. They went to Venezuela first, then crossed the border. These are the stories that travel. The ones where people move toward danger, not away from it.
Africa's 2 places at the FIFA Intercontinental Playoff have been decided. South Africa knocked out Nigeria to claim one of the spots. Ghana took the other by beating Ivory Coast. The playoff is the final stage before the Women's World Cup. Nigeria had been among the continent's strongest teams in recent tournaments. They are now out of the running. South Africa will go through instead. Ghana joins them after their win over the Ivorians. The 2 nations will represent Africa as they try to secure their places at the World Cup finals. Al Jazeera reported this. A foreign drone entered Latvian airspace today. NATO scrambled fighter jets to shoot it down. Latvia is a member of the alliance, which means an incursion into its territory triggers collective defense protocols. The drone's origin has not been confirmed. Finland also took action. The country temporarily restricted its own airspace, though no details were given about why. Both nations border Russia and have been on heightened alert since the war in Ukraine began. Latvia shares a frontier with both Russia and Belarus. The incident comes as tensions remain high across Eastern Europe. NATO has increased patrols along its eastern flank in recent months. Independent reported this. Conditions aboard the USS Lincoln are raising concerns. The aircraft carrier has been deployed in the Middle East amid rising tensions with Iran. Both the United States and Iran now claim control over the Strait of Hormuz. The narrow waterway is a critical shipping route for global oil supplies. Major Garrett covers the story on the Takeout. The situation puts American sailors in a difficult position while 2 governments assert authority over the same strategic waters. CBS News reported this. The Eurovision Song Contest has changed its hosting rules. Countries that win the competition will no longer be allowed to host the following year if they're involved in an armed conflict. The same applies if they're in what organizers call a sensitive geopolitical situation. The European Broadcasting Union announced the new policy. It says the change is about safety. Any situation that could put the event at risk will now disqualify a winning nation from hosting duties. The contest attracts performers and fans from across Europe and beyond. The rules take effect immediately. France 24 reported this. Mexican restaurants across the United States are offering a wider range of regional cuisines and styles than ever before. Diners can now find dishes from specific parts of Mexico that were rarely available outside those regions just a few years ago. This is happening even as immigration remains a contentious political issue in America. The growth seems disconnected from the heated national debate. Food writers are calling this the golden age of Mexican dining in the country. But they also say the situation is complicated. The flourishing restaurant scene exists alongside ongoing tension about Mexican immigration and the people who make this food possible. New York Times reported this.
The Mexican rescue volunteers are in Colombia now. Before that, Venezuela. They were at the towers in New York 23 years ago. Tennis. Swiatek has won in Toronto.
A powerful earthquake has struck Colombia. Rescue teams are now searching through rubble for survivors. A Mexican volunteer group called Topos Azteca has arrived to help with those efforts. The team had been working in Venezuela on another rescue operation when the Colombia earthquake hit. Topos Azteca operates around the world. The group was among the rescue teams that responded after the September 11th attacks in the United States. NYT World reported this. There's a new champion in Toronto. Iga Swiatek has won the National Bank Open. She beat Elena Rybakina in straight sets on Thursday 6-2, 6-3. Swiatek was seeded 7th in the tournament. Rybakina was the 2nd seed. This is Swiatek's first title of the year on the WTA Tour. It's her 26th career title overall. ESPN Tennis reported this. Rangers are out of European competition. They drew 1-1 at home to Jagiellonia Bialystok last night, losing the tie 3-2 on aggregate. It's another setback for manager Derek McInnes, who still hasn't won a match since taking charge. Hearts also bowed out of Europe despite a spirited performance against Benfica. They held the Portuguese side but couldn't overturn their deficit from the first leg. Both Scottish clubs had been competing in the Europa League qualifiers. Their exits mean no European football beyond the summer for either side. Guardian Football reported this. Artificial intelligence systems are not yet capable of conducting scientific research on their own. The journal Nature has reported that current AI tools still require significant human oversight and intervention to carry out meaningful scientific investigation. The technology can assist researchers with certain tasks, but it cannot independently design experiments, interpret complex results, or draw reliable conclusions without human guidance. This matters because there has been growing excitement about AI potentially accelerating scientific discovery. The reality appears more modest. Scientists will need to continue doing the hard work themselves for now, with AI serving as a helpful tool rather than an autonomous researcher. The gap between what AI can do and what scientific research demands remains substantial. Nature reported this. The Ebola outbreak in Africa is now on track to become the deadliest on record. The World Health Organization's chief has confirmed the grim milestone. The outbreak was declared on the 15th of May. Since then, more than 2,000 people have died. Thousands more cases have been reported across the affected region. The figures mark this as the worst Ebola crisis ever documented. Previous outbreaks killed fewer people, though the disease has long been one of the most feared in global health. The WHO is the United Nations agency responsible for tracking infectious diseases worldwide. BBC Africa reported this.